Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of AM Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Matthew, and I'm joined by my best movie buds out there. Freaking, y'all want to introduce yourself? I got Southern there for a second.
Oh, why
Hey, guys.
sure. Go ahead.
Are you sure? Is it safe?
Oh, it's safe. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi guys. No good. Hi guys. It's Andrew, as per usual on the podcast.
And this is also Rico de Gallo. He's really happy to
And-
be here today.
And together we are the Bathroom Boys.
Yeah.
Bathroom boys?
Yeah.
No, it's an insider.
You wouldn't get it.
It's
You
an
wouldn't get
insider that the inside guy isn't supposed to be inside of.
it.
I'm not
I guess you
privy
could-
to that knowledge.
Inception to that. It's very Inception-like.
Yeah, freaking. Last week we all went to the bathroom simultaneously, hence the Bathroom Boys.
Oh,
There's your context, people.
I was a part of that.
You were.
But yeah, how are you guys today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty damn good. Had a long day. I'm looking forward to this.
Same here.
Oh yeah.
Excited as usual. Can't wait to break down these movies with you boys. It'll be great.
Hell yeah. So before we get into the movie discussion, there is one tad bit of information I want to get out there because it's pretty funny. I feel like it would be pretty interesting to talk about.
What
By
you
any
got?
chance, did you guys hear that Morbius went back to theaters?
Did it really?
No.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah, due to the because the memes were so freaking popular, someone at Sony had the bright idea, like, oh well, shit, the memes are popular, they're trending. Like, okay, obviously people want to see the movie. Like, all right, fucking. Then he went to go talk to another higher executive, and they're like, hey, can we get this done? And yeah, they fucking threw it back out in 1,000 theaters, and it flopped again.
Oh my god, dude.
Never in my life have I heard a studio get bamboozled by the entire internet.
I've never heard of a movie flopping twice.
I know, bro.
I just don't understand the mindset behind that. That's like, the memes were
Good.
funny, but they were memeing
Good.
on the movie.
Good. let
Yeah,
it go.
I just don't. Yeah, exactly. I just don't get the fucking thought process. Like, you thought that was going to equal, more dollar signs? Like, the movie grossed 85,000. So not even 100,000
Oh my
feet back in
God.
over 1,000 theaters.
dude,
Like,
I fucking- oh,
like gross.
God, I
Everything, everywhere, all at once is on it's I think 10th or 11th, maybe 12th week at the box office, but it's still in the top 5. Like, it's still grossing millions of
That's
dollars
insane.
compared to
my
this fucking
Oh.
multi-million-dollar blockbuster. Just oh my god.
Dude, I'm literally. Oh, I have tears. It's so funny. Like, God, I fucking hate Sony so much. Like,
Just
oh my
the
God.
fucking balls, dude. Like,
Yeah.
really?
Hey, if anything, that is balls right there. That's a lot of balls.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
they should have just doubled down and just made the next movie kind of like a funny one. Just like, it's Morbin time, basically. Make it his catchphrase or something.
I think they made a joke of that with Jared Leto, like holding a script for Morbius 2 and it says something like that, but everyone was like, oh, that ruined the meme. And then now nobody wants to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And I'll send it to you guys, but it's like, I think it's actually him. I can't tell. Maybe it's a deep fake, but I was just like, pretty sure it's Jared Leto.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Yeah, Jared Leto is very set on Morbius being like the definitive superhero movie. Like, he has his ego so far up his own ass. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous. Just oh my god. Like, I can't stand the guy right now. It's just so cringe.
It really is, though. Like, come on, man.
I just rewatched American Psycho, And damn, dude, like the only part that he's ever good in is just being a pretentious douchebag. Because he just does it
Yeah.
so well. Like that.
He does.
Yeah, honestly.
I just don't understand why people want to keep pushing him in these kinds of movies.
Yeah, because Suicide Squad went so well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Yeah, I feel like after this, like, he's done. Especially since Morbius was a huge flop twice. So, yeah, definitely did not make their money back. I'm pretty sure there's some fucking dude bro chads out there that fucking love this shit or something. But, yeah, freaking, yeah.
I would be a little disappointed though if he didn't come back for the Sinister Six movie if it ever gets made. Because the way that they're going, I don't know if they're even going to continue with it.
Fuck it, just retcon the scene. He doesn't need to be in anything else. We're good.
No one would care and no one would know.
And we'd all be the better for it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. But yeah, I just wanted to get that tidbit of information out there. Just,
You know what?
I just hope it produces more Morbius memes because there can never be enough.
Morbid time.
It's Morbid time, bro.
Hell yeah, freaking, and yeah. With that out of the way, you guys want to get into the first film discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Rico. Take it away.
all right, so I was thinking about it, and real quick, do you guys want to do the new release first, or do you guys want to do the older one?
I'm down with I'm down with Doctor Strange 2 first.
All right, let's do Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange 2 came out a few weeks ago. We all seen it. I think we seen it at different times. I don't think we all saw it together. But very polarizing movie. It's directed by one of my favorite directors, Sam Raimi. And you can definitely see some horror elements into it. What Doctor Strange 2 is about is the Multiverse of Madness. And it basically is like a tie-up of several different character arcs, including Scarlet Witch, who's Wanda from, what is it called? WandaVision?
Yeah.
WandaVision, but I mean, I'm pretty sure people are familiar with Wanda at this point, if you're in the MCU.
Yeah, so it ties up there, like shows her where she ended up afterwards of WandaVision, and basically it goes through a lot of multiversal dimensions, and it opens it up to what could possibly be coming through in the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, without further ado, I would love to hear what you guys think about this movie. Let's start off with Matt.
Okay. Yeah, this is a movie that definitely meshes genres that I'm a huge fan of. You know, hence horror. You know, arguably probably my favorite genre. And yeah, for a Doctor Strange movie, you know, horror kind of Marvel movie, I loved it, but I definitely do have like some problems with it. Like, I definitely do think like some of that Marvel tone kind of bogs it down a little bit. I'm actually surprised they let Sam Raimi go as far as he did in certain scenes. So I definitely do appreciate those aspects. Like, we'll get into more detail later. But yeah, like in terms of like giving a director like some, you know, some room to have fun and like have his voice and a style in it, and especially like a Sam Raimi type style, like I thought this movie was pretty awesome and successful in those terms. Yeah, I'm also a huge fan of the action. I'm always a huge fan of like Doctor Strange being in an action sequence. Like, I definitely think it creates like interesting conflict with the action. Like, I don't know, like a lot of the past MCU movies that have had Doctor Strange in it, all those fight scenes with him in it always stand out to me. And yeah, same thing with this movie. Like, I'm a huge fan of the action here. I love all the weird shit that gets thrown in. But yeah, freaking, I'll get into more detail later. But yeah, well, what did you think, Andrew?
I loved it. It was a really good movie. love that Sam Raimi got actually, like Rico was saying, the more freedom and liberty than most Marvel directors get to kind of do it the way he wanted to do it. Although, like you said, there's definitely the MCU formula that kind of taints, I guess, Sam Raimi's vision in a way. But it's not like it completely ruins the movie. But it's definitely an issue I picked up on while watching it. So yeah, I loved it. I am gonna go more into depth about why I loved it as we keep going, but yeah, I think it was a great movie. One of my favorite MCU movies because I'm a huge Doctor Strange fan. So just not even just the movies, but the comic stuff too. It's really cool. So I've always been a big fan of his.
Yeah, so pretty much everything that you guys said is the same exact opinion that I have. The parts that it shines are entirely Sam Raimi. Like, you can tell what is Sam Raimi in this movie. And then you can also tell what is, like, the family-friendly, like, Marvel, like, kind of their setup and everything. And I feel like in this movie, it was like it shined so much in certain areas that when you had those other moments that are like the family friendly parts, like the feel good moments, it really, like what Matt said, bogs it down. It kind of just like it just like is like, oh, okay, well, come on, can we just like do this? Like, if they just kind of just step back, because I feel like if they just let Sam Raimi do everything he wants to do, it would have been like a complete fucking genre like changer for this, because we have gotten to the point we are like a little getting like fatigued by the whole superhero genre and how it's kind of like the same kind of like steps going through each one. And I feel like if they just let Sam Raimi just take complete control over it, I think it would have been like a complete tone setter for the rest of superhero movies going forward. But anyway,
Yeah.
so let's talk about some of the directing. Do you guys want to like, because we're alluding to a lot of Sam Raimi, but would you guys like to talk about Sam Raimi in the moments that he actually like shines through this movie?
Yeah, like I love all the camera sweeps. I love all the upside down camera stuff. Freaking, yeah, freaking the way this was shot. I'm a huge fan of. Like, it definitely has that Sam Raimi style to it. Yeah, freaking, I'm a huge fan of the way he directed this movie. But yeah, I do agree with the point that like definitely it would have resulted in a better movie if he did have like more control. But I mean, at the same time, I am like, I mean, I did expect it. Like, I was expecting to kind of get a. Yeah, well, actually, it did surprise me. I'm surprised I got as much Sam Raimi in this than I did. Like, I was expecting it to be a bit more on that Marvel side. A bit more. I thought there was going to be a lot more of that kind of like Marvel humor that's very hit or miss. Like, oh, is this table made of vibranium? No, IKEA. Like, you know, it wasn't like that level of like fucking cringe. Like, so I am glad that like, you know, there isn't a lot of that Marvel humor in here. Like, I was finding more comedic enjoyment from, you know, kind of like Sam Raimi style and him just kind of having fun with these characters. And yeah, freaking, yeah, I loved what he did, except for, you know, yeah, yeah, basically what Rico said exactly. Freaking the Marvel formula and having like some of those like asterisks in there do kind of hold it back in that sense. And I don't know, it would make me curious if, you know, what we would have gotten if he had full control, because the previous director, Scott Derrickson, apparently wanted to do a lot more like horror elements. So, I mean, that's definitely like one of those things that, you know, will always live in my head rent free, because like I'm really curious like what his kind of vision was. But, you know, for getting like a Sam Raimi Marvel movie in the MCU, like that's just, I don't know, that's just it's wild to me, because like I said, like they did give him a lot of like creative control, like more than I was expecting. So it did surprise me in some elements. Like fuck, this movie actually does have like pretty intense scenes of death.
Yeah.
Like some of the implications of some of these deaths are like, holy shit, like they really went there. Like, and this is like basically like a kids movie to some extent. But yeah, they really went for it in some scenes here. So yeah, fucking those scenes really stood out to me. freaking yeah, I mean, we could definitely get into spoiler territory with some of those deaths here, but yeah, freaking. What did you guys think?
Go ahead, Andrew.
Oh, thank you. I really liked what you were talking about, the gruesome deaths that we do see in this movie, and the characters who are the ones suffering those deaths also make you go, "What the fuck?" And you realize that only Sam Raimi could pull something off like that, which I thought was really cool. And I did like I liked the beginning of the movie. Just I guess I'm entering spoiler territory, but just for like the beginning of it, Doctor Strange's previous love interest, Christina Palmer, is getting married, and a lot of people at the wedding, or like her specifically, asked him like, or it's a reoccurring theme throughout the movie for him, like, "Are you happy?" And he's always just like, "Yeah, of course I'm happy." It's like, I'm Doctor Strange. Why wouldn't I be happy? But it's like something that keeps reoccurring throughout, and that's something Sam Raimi's really good at doing. He stays on point with whatever he's trying to have the character go through, or try to understand why they're struggling with whatever they're struggling, which is what I always liked about his stuff with Spider-Man 2. So, just that was a little thing that's one of the first things I really liked about this movie.
Yeah, and it feels like you don't really see like how he's struggling with that in the last Spider-Man movie. Is it Far From Home or No Way Home?
No Way Home.
No Way Home. Can never remember that title. I can never remember it. Spider-Man 3. So with that one,
it's okay.
Yeah, with that one, you don't really see like Doctor Strange's problems. Like a lot of lives were destroyed because of the decision that Doctor Strange made, which was to let Thanos win in that moment, so that it could be fixed in the end. And that's like, if you think about it, that is like you ruined, like, not even just billions, like that's trillions of lives. Like that is an insane decision to have to make. And of course it would be like weighing down on you as you came back, and then people were like, yeah, my dad died during the 5-year gap that I was dead, and I came back to him no longer here, and I'm alone now. And it's like, yeah, there's probably every step he takes, he's probably facing that kind of thing. And I love how Sam Raimi made that a point. I know that because it was a Spider-Man movie, they didn't want to focus too much on Doctor Strange. They just kind of wanted him to move the plot forward and then just take him out of the game. But I like how this is his movie and they showed that. And I like how they made that a point. Even though I feel like they didn't like dive too deeply into it. It was very like kind of stoic about it. But even with that, I still feel like his character seems like he would just kind of like brush it off. Like I'm like, oh yeah, like try to make jokes about it. But I kind of wish that there was a little bit more of a payoff for that moment, for that internal issue, though.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But I do feel like the human emotions in this movie are a little bit more believable than I've gotten from previous Marvel movies. Like, it's not as like cheesy. It's much more okay, spoiler territory. Like, an example I can give, like at the end, like, you really think he might, kiss Rachel McAdams because it's like, oh, it's a different version of her. It would work. Like, in a typical, like, Marvel movie or, like, I guess just any mainstream movie, like, the stereotypical thing would be like, oh, yeah, give her a kiss. But, freaking, he doesn't. And freaking, he's actually, like, kind of, grown to, accept that. And freaking, I mean, fuck it. I mean, the after credit sequence does set up, something for the future. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, freaking, I love what Rico was saying, that like, yeah, I do like how Sam Raimi does handle the human emotion here. It's pulled off very well, in my opinion.
And I liked how you brought that up, because I did like his little line to her before he leaves was actually really cute. Where he's just like, I love you in every universe. I was like, oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, good line. That was a good line.
And like Benedict Cumberbatch's performance, like it felt natural, like it felt genuine. I was like, yeah, there you go, Benedict. That's some acting right there.
And I also like how it shows how this Doctor Strange is different from the other Doctor Stranges, because there's in the Marvel What If on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah,
he legit destroys an entire universe because he wanted Rachel McAdams, or what's her name?
Christine.
Rachel
Christine.
McAdams.
Yeah, Rachel McAdams.
You got the actress, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Christine. He wanted Christine, but Yeah, so it just shows you how different this Doctor Strange is. So I
Yeah.
love how they like kind of like gave like two different parallels in the movie, and then if you watched outside of the movie, the What If series, you can also see a third, and I like how they did that.
I love how they referenced that episode too. Like, yeah, we had a previous version of you like destroy a whole universe. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, you're actually the worst threat to the multiverse. And I was like, oh shit. And so, oh yeah, so we're kind of dodging around this, but I mean, I personally don't know a lot about it because I'm not much of a comic book person. But the Illuminati is in here,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
so yeah, that was revealed. And so yeah, do
Well,
one of you want to introduce who's in that team?
Andrew, go on ahead, man. I feel like you're way more knowledgeable.
I am. Well said, sir. Well said. No kidding. But yeah, the Illuminati is basically the one we get in the movie is like a version of the Illuminati. It's not like the legit one because the legit one in the comics, the members consist of I might forget one or two, but just the ones I can remember. There's Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, Professor X, Black Panther, Namor, and there might be someone else. Oh, and Black Bolt, who was like in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry guys, spoiler alert.
No,
But
that's okay. Yeah,
one of the
full
members-
spoilers.
Hey, they've had several weeks to watch this.
that's fair. That's fair. But you don't want to be that guy though. Sometimes they haven't.
They
But,
clicked on this one.
But yeah,
What
so
about
that's-
Captain America?
Captain America has sometimes been in. Well, the Illuminati members have always like alternated throughout like comic runs and throughout comic history. So, but the ones that I mentioned initially are the ones who are typically in it most of the time. Like, there's no real rotation with them. Like, they're always.
Okay.
And they basically what the Illuminati does, they like it's kind of what they explained in the movie. They are sort of like these superheroes from each like I guess superhero team in a way, or they have like a big, I guess, pull within the superhero community. They all come together to make like really hard decisions, like other superhero teams. Except they like kind of think beyond just like saving the city or saving the world. Like what if we do this? How will this affect this or that? And like it's always those kinds of conversations that they have. I always thought that they were a really interesting group. They're basically like a cult, I guess, or like their own Illuminati, like higher ups who are making these big decisions, not telling anybody except for themselves.
Purely
okay.
Illuminati just fits the group's name perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So in this movie, the Illuminati are they okay? So the way it's presented in this movie, like what? Because from what I picked up, like they're in the future, because like they go through this really cool sequence where you get to see like a whole bunch of multiverses for a few brief seconds. Like fuck, the movie needed more of that. That is another mild complaint of mine. Like it definitely needed like more multiverse and whatnot, because like it's basically like I said, we go through that sequence where you get to see each of these universes for like a brief second, and then we're set to this one where the Illuminati is. So yeah, I guess my question is, this was a different reality, correct? Like,
Yes.
just okay, just making sure, because like this is also the universe the Illuminati was in. Was that also the same one as Wanda was in, where she has the kids, or was that a different Wanda from a different universe?
Yeah,
It's
I
the
think
same.
that's the same one. The one where it's red means go.
Okay, yeah, okay, for sure. Okay, gotcha. But yeah, so freaking it is. So, was there a timestamp on when this was too?
Post Thanos, because they took down Thanos in this universe, and Doctor Strange has been dead for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was an interesting point to bring up too. Yeah, he's dead in that universe. And then freaking, because he was also a member, right, of the Illuminati.
Yeah.
The way they said.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, oh shit. So yeah, freaking. Another thing I want to get into. What did you guys think of Patrick Stewart in this?
Oh my god, dude, that was so sick seeing him. Like they played the little song and everything. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I was so stoked when I heard it. I was like, all right, because I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, hey, like Professor X should be in this. Like if they're introducing all this, like how crazy would it be? And then he just starts wheeling in. I was like, what the? I was like, oh my god, dude. I was
It
riding
was
that
great.
high.
It was great to see him. Like, yeah, just rolling up in the chair, the old '90s music theme. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it was great. My theater went crazy. They were like, "Oh my god!" I was just like, "Yeah!" Like, it was good to see him. Which, since Matt asked that question, and well, Matt, what did you think? What did you think of him in the movie?
I thought he was integrated very well. Like it's
Mhm.
definitely like even like Professor X is like so like injected into pop culture where I'm very sure like most people knew who he was even if you haven't watched X-Men. And
Mhm.
like yeah, and I love when they like when Rico said like they played that theme. Like it was just like to me like that was great fan service. I'm like, all right, this is the way to do it. Like
Yeah.
this, I thought it was pulled off very well. And freaking, I love the scenes with him too. Like, I love that scene where he's like interacting with Wanda in like this white room, and then like you slowly get to see like this like red mist come behind him. And oh yeah, I loved all the scenes they did with him. Like, he didn't have a lot of screen time, but he made an impact with what he was given.
Mhm.
What I like about him is that he was straight up good guy Professor X. Like he was like giving Doctor Strange a chance. He's like, you know what? I feel like you are different. I believe in you. Go save us. Like that kind of thing. And
We'll
he
see
was
what
like,
kind of Doctor Strange you'll be.
yeah. Then he was even trying to save. Yeah, exactly. Then he was even trying to save Wanda, even though she's like the main antagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking love that too.
Heroes need to be doing in these movies. They need to be saving people, not just beating them up and killing them and making quips.
Yeah, make our heroes heroes again.
Yeah.
hmm But what were
But,
you gonna say, Andrew? Yeah, you were gonna say something before all that.
okay. I'm gonna say, like, to add to that, we should probably just break down the members of the Illuminati in this movie because we already
Yeah,
mentioned
go ahead.
and Professor X, and then we also get Captain Carter. We get, I believe it was Monica Rambeau or was it Maria Rambeau?
Yep.
As
Rambo.
Monica.
So it was Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel, which is Maria's mom, and then there was Mordo, who took Doctor Strange's place because in this universe, like we mentioned, he was dead. And
Yeah.
the last member, which was like a big surprise to myself and everyone in my theater. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but we got John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. How did you guys feel about him? Like with the
That
bit
was
amount of time,
sick.
right? It was cool. I loved it.
Dude, that was like a fan casting from like years ago that I saw that I was like, oh, I could see that. I could see them being Sue Storm and Mr. Fantastic. I was like, I could see that. But dude, seeing that, I was like, dude, that's perfect. I was so freaking like excited. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, no, that shit was fucking amazing. Like that was, I mean, come on, really? Are you gonna bring back like Miles Teller or like that other Fantastic Four guy? Like, I'm really glad they just like recast and they're like, all right, we're just gonna start fresh. Like, we don't want to be associated with those other two Fantastic Four movies at all. So, freaking, I don't know, just my mind went there. Like after I saw him, I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna bring the other two in here. Just start fresh.
Yeah.
Also,
You just wouldn't.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're all good. What were you gonna say, Rico?
I was gonna talk about Black Bolt too.
Oh, yeah. We have to talk about the boy. It was great to see him in his comic accurate suit. I loved it. I was like, only Sam Raimi would be the one to do this and do it properly.
Dude, that was so cool.
Do
He
you guys
looks
want to
good.
explain who he is to the people? Because like I'm not too familiar with him, but yeah,
I've got
he
loose
is like
knowledge.
an Inhumans member, right?
He's the leader, but I'll let Andrew talk about him because I have a very loose knowledge of him.
Okay. Well, my knowledge is a little loose as well. I've read some comics that he's been in, like what is it, World War Hulk, where he fought him. Well, I guess that was retconned when you think about it, because he was a Skrull in that, and that kind of bummed me out when I found out. Because the fight he has with the Hulk in that series, that comic, just to break that down really quick. I know I'm backtracking a bit, but it'll lead back to Black Bolt, I promise. But World War Hulk is a series of comics that basically the Illuminati, which is another reason why I'm bringing this up, sent Hulk into space because he was just too fucking angry all the time. So they're like, bro, you keep destroying shit. We can't. You gotta get out of here, man. So they send him to space, and he lands on the planet called Sakaar, which is the one they're on in Thor Ragnarok. And there's a whole storyline where he becomes a gladiator. He, starts running shit after he beats the king on Sakaar. And then he goes back to Earth because he's like, you know what? I'm going to go cause some problems. Fuck these guys. They sent me off my home world to basically die. And I came back stronger. And he just starts demolishing, like, all the Marvel characters. Like, he's beating up. He, like, one-shots She-Hulk into the ground. He fights Black Bolt on the moon. And this fight is why I thought he was super badass at first when I read this. Because because of his ability, Black Bolt's ability is just he has the power. If he just says one word, he can, like, destroy an entire city. Like, he's just that powerful. So he doesn't really speak. He's mute most of the time, so he uses sign language to basically communicate, which is why in the movie he doesn't talk at all. And the only time you hear him talk, he kills somebody or he just, like, destroys everything. So he fights the Hulk in this comic run, and he does pretty well, but then he gets his ass whooped because it's Hulk's story, so Hulk is, like, just beating down everybody. And he also captures the Illuminati, and he makes Mr. Fantastic and Tony Stark, like, fight to the death in, like, a gladiator ring with just weapons. And, like, Tony doesn't have his armor, and Mr. Fantastic still has his stretching powers, but, they're all banged up from fighting the Hulk. So that's just a little area that kind of mentions Black Bolt. Like, he's pretty powerful, but there are times where they kind of power him down or they nerf him for the sake of a character being stronger. So that's my only issue with Black Bolt in the comics sometimes. That's why I haven't really read too much on him, because every time I do, he has a badass entrance and then gets his ass kicked. He's kind of like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z sometimes, and that's frustrating. Because it's a cool concept of a character, but he gets one cool introduction and then he gets his ass whooped. And it's funny, because now I'm going to hop into spoiler territory. That's basically what happens here in Doctor Strange 2. Yeah. And I just got to say, for the smartest man in the world, and I know everyone's going to bring this up because it's just you can't ignore it, he just shouldn't have said anything to Wanda at all. Like, just I want to get that out of the way. He shouldn't have said it. Still love John Krasinski as was fantastic. I can't wait to see what happens in his own movie. I want to see him do good because I know he can do the role good. But it's hard to ignore that one little thing in the writing because you're like, I don't think he would have said that. But it's not like it doesn't ruin the movie. It's just kind of like, that was kind of dumb for the world's smartest man.
He's like, Black Bolt can end you in one word. Please don't make us have to do this.
And Wanda's just like, what mouth? And then he's just gone. And then he screams and blows his own head off. And I was just like, oof. Just like
the
Okay, so Black Bolt's death, dude. Black Bolt's death where his brain is like head casing just like blows out but stays confined into the suit and then he falls down. It just reminded me of some like The Boys type gore. Even though it wasn't like explicitly like exploding all over the place, just the visual of that, that's a disgusting like sack of just like putty inside of his head now. It's like, oh my god, dude. Like, do you guys want to talk about all those death scenes now that we've talked about the Illuminati?
Yeah. They're very heavily implied, but effective, like, without showing a lot. Like, that's what really surprises me. Like, that's where I'm like, all right, they actually, like, let Sam Raimi just have fun here. Like, I like, the whole multiversal concept just, opens up, the playground to just do what you want with these characters. And they probably just said that. They're like, you can do what you want with these characters. You can kill them, you can do whatever. And so, like, I felt that. Like, fuck, he just chose to fucking kill, okay, not all, but most of the Illuminati. And a lot of them are very gruesome and brutal, which my personal favorite being probably... It might be the Peggy Carter fight. Like, that shit was really brutal too. Like, she basically like gets cut in half like after the fight
with her own shield.
yeah, her own shield. Yeah, fucking it's very, like I said, for not showing a lot. Like, you still get the heavy implication. You're like, oh damn, she just got Darth Mauled. Holy shit. So
she did the whole like slide off of her own shield, like.
Yeah, bro. And just, like, the whole nature of it, too. Like, there's just this... I mean, we'll get into it after this, because I really want to talk about it. Like, get more into detail about it. Just, Wanda being the antagonist and having to, like, try to deal with this, like, unstoppable force. Like, it's just... it's just crazy, and I love the action we got with it too. Like they're fucking fighting their hardest to just no avail. Like it's just so crazy. I love that whole sequence. What did you think, Andrew?
Oh man, I loved it. I loved it. Like Black Bolt's death was crazy. It was fantastic. I love me some fantastic spaghetti. Like, delicious.
Yeah.
All part of balanced breakfast. Like it was funny to see that death just a little bit. Because John Krasinski, he sells it. Like when he's getting torn up towards the end and he's yelling like in agony, you're like, I feel bad for laughing right now, but it's kind of funny. He looks like Play-Doh or spaghetti.
Yeah.
But like
Straight up.
Think about that death. Like if he didn't have his stretching abilities, that'd be way more gruesome.
Yeah.
If you think of, like he's literally being torn to shreds. Like that has to be excruciatingly painful, and he's alive through the entire process until she pops his head off at the end. That death made me go, that's funny, but it's also really fucked up when you think about it further.
Yeah, dude, that's probably my most gruesome one, just because it's like Black Bolts was gross, like that was disgusting, but like stretching him to the point where it kills him like that, and the thing that like kind of annoyed me was that everyone was just watching it happen. Like he's screaming at the top of his lungs during that, and they're just like, "Whoa, he's getting his shit mixed." Like
Yeah.
no one stepped in. I was like, "Dude, please help him!" Like.
I know.
It's going on for far too long. Holy shit.
But then again, I guess that's more of like the fear effect. Like they're trying to show that they're so scared because they're watching their comrade be torn to shreds. They don't know how to respond.
Also, that really does paint Wanda in such a good light though too, because it's like you have a villain that needs like credibility under her belt. And putting that kind of like she has like all these bodies like underneath her now, like she just dispatched of this Illuminati that we were just introduced to. Like you went up against Brain, you went against Brawn, you went against Power. Like she still took them all out, and it's like that right there established your villain. Like there is credibility behind her. Like she is a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is someone who can take out Thanos too. So it's just like I mean we can just get into it now. Like the main antagonist is Wanda, which I find to be honestly she might be top 3 villains for me. Like she's definitely up there with like Thanos, Loki, the Mandarin, freaking just I love Wanda as a villain because like I said, the unstoppable threat aspect is just it creates interesting conflict. Like I really loved all that, and it just it really makes you think like shit. How do you deal with like a threat like this? And short answer, like you basically can't. Freaking fucking everyone basically gets their ass beat by her. Like she is just unrelenting. And I just want to give, even more credit to Elizabeth Olsen because I think she fucking killed it in this movie.
Hell yeah.
Like she was, like out of the actors in terms of acting, she for sure did the best. She brought so much emotion to the table, and it's just it really does make her like kind of like a a tragic character. But it's a character that we have grown attached to. So I mean, obviously there is an aspect of the book having like some influence on her. So like these are emotions that she's feeling, but like the fucking I think what's it called the Darkhold?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, like the Darkhold has like kind of like I guess like a trance on her. Like it kind of amplifies like those bad motivations. But I just find it interesting to put Wanda as the villain. Like it just I don't know. I really like that they went that direction with this character. What did you guys think?
Honestly, like if you look at her story now that this movie has come out, like it seems like they were like building her up the whole time, because it's like you have Avengers 2 where basically she loses her brother, she joins up, she's betrayed by Ultron, she kills Ultron or one of him, and then she constantly is like feeling like an outsider. She is blamed for everything that started the Civil War, basically with that bombing. And then a lot of people just hate her. And then she develops feelings with Vision. Vision's taken away from her, and then she like just loses it. And then she comes back, makes this whole like city her slave, and then has kids, and then has to lose those kids. And it's like she's constantly like the Avenger that is just losing everything and can't do anything about it. And she has the power to do it. She just needed the lack of restraint to just go about doing it. And it just shows that like it just stacked up on her over time, and the Darkhold just feeding into that, just like it just propelled her to just make those decisions. Like I love when Professor X is inside her mind and it shows like inner Wanda, or probably true Wanda, like underneath the rubble still from like the explosion when she was a child. And she's just like saying, please help me, please get me out of here. And I love how they gave that like extra dimension to the Scarlet Witch, saying like, yeah, she's still a hero, she's just a scared girl that's being taken advantage of by this Darkhold. What did you think about that, Andrew?
I loved it. I really, really loved everything Elizabeth Olsen did with her performance in this movie specifically. It was really like, she gave me Homelander vibes in a way. She was like unhinged, but had like a calmness to her at the same time. Like when she goes to Kalmartage initially to like take America Chavez from Doctor Strange and the rest of them, like when she's talking to him in the air, she was just like, I want you to understand, like, this is me being reasonable. And I was just like, oh. And then she just like demolished the entire place. I was just like, God damn.
That was a good line.
Mm-hmm. It was, dude, and her performance, like her entire performance throughout the movie was fucking great. I felt her and Benedict Cumberbatch, they were like kind of at their best in this one, and I feel like that's because of Sam Raimi's direction, because he's like really good with his actors and like getting what he needs out of them for whatever reason he's doing it for. Like he's like, even with like Bruce Campbell and everything they do together, like he's always bringing out like the best in Bruce Campbell's performances.
Even in this movie.
Even in this one.
Okay,
yeah, I was just about to say that.
We've been tiptoeing around it, not trying to spoil anything for anyone, but yes, Bruce Campbell is in this movie.
Hell yeah.
Is phenomenal.
It's a very cartoony scene with when he's involved in it, and then he's also the end credit scene. And a lot of people, and it's funny too because a lot of people must not have known who he was. Like in my theater, like everyone was disappointed when they saw Bruce Campbell in the end credit. They're like, we waited for this.
I got a good reaction in mine, honestly.
Mine too.
I got a terrible reaction.
Damn, where did you watch it, man?
Freaking, I don't know, my local theater. They were just like, everyone was like, we waited for this, like, oh, and they just left, and they were like, it was a lot of people that stayed too. I was like really disappointed that no one else was enjoying it.
I loved it. Funny, like
it's a Sam Raimi thing for sure.
That's Sam Raimi's day one homeboy, dude. Like
exactly.
Evil Dead, bro.
Yes.
Evil fucking
Dead. Dude, that is loyalty right there, man. Like
some real shit.
Yeah, like I understand it's not like fucking Mephisto or fucking like, I don't know, fucking Galactic, or I don't know, fucking just some other crazy character being introduced. It's just, it's played for laughs, and yeah, I really liked it. Freaking yeah, Bruce Campbell is officially in MCU canon.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have Sam Raimi, just let Sam Raimi have fun, man. It's gonna be a good movie if you're gonna let him have fun.
Yeah.
So freaking we praised a lot of aspects of this movie, and Rico did set up that there was some conflict here. So yeah, I'd be curious to hear some of your criticism, both of you actually. But what do you think, Rico? I want to hear some of your thoughts.
All right, I did not like America Chavez, so Oh my gosh, dude! She seemed cool in certain areas, but at the same time, she just seemed like a Marvel insert into a Sam Raimi movie. Like a lot of the things that she was like empowered to do, like towards the end, I was just like, okay, this lady just soloed the Illuminati. She's destroying Doctor Strange, and like America Chavez just goes up to her, starts punching her in like a terrible like flurry. By the way, it was so bad, and like she's like getting destroyed by this little girl who is not convincing at all. Like I was just like, oh man, dude, and that's like one of mine. What'd you guys think of America Chavez? Like, did you guys have any gripes with her? Like the same way I did.
I guess like not as bad. No, not really. I guess my expectations were set that she was going to be a very annoying side character. Which, don't get me wrong, I have seen other people criticize that exact same thing. But I guess for me, she just never really, came across as very annoying to me. Like, I don't know. When I think of like annoying, like fucking Marvel characters, I think of like, oh my god, I can't even remember her name, but the Thor 2 girl, the freaking I can't
Thor
remember
girl?
the actress's name either. Yeah, fucking, she's like, fucking like fucking quippy millennial girl. Like she fucking knows everything. She's snarky. Like that's what I thought I was gonna get. But she was she was fine. She was chill. I didn't really have too many problems with her performance, but I do kind of agree with you in the aspect that she is kind of like kind of like that kind of like Marvel-esque kind of character that's just thrown in here. Yeah, she didn't bother me too much though. Yeah, freaking, it wasn't too much of a problem for me. But what do you think, Andrew? How did you feel about her?
I didn't mind her. I like the actress. She does a good job with what she's given. Like, it's not like because I actually heard I'll get into spoiler territory. I'll give a spoiler warning for this part. But in the movie, it's revealed that America Chavez has two moms instead of a mom and like just a dad.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if this was true or not. Like, I just read this stuff online. Obviously, you can never fully trust what you read online. There were some rumors or news leaks going around that she kind of was like asking them not to have her character have like two moms. I don't think it was like I don't think it was anything like against the idea, but I think the actress had like felt like it didn't make sense or it kind of had no reason to be there. So I don't remember exactly, but it wasn't like something that was so bad. Like, it's like that she should be frowned upon for not wanting them in it. I don't know if it was true or not, but it was something I had read online. But she does really good. She get a little annoying, I will admit, at points in the movie. But that's not even really the actress's fault. It's kind of more the writing of her character and just kind of how it's translated on screen.
Yeah, I should probably.
I mean, she's a MacGuffin for sure, but she didn't bother me too much.
Yeah, I should probably reiterate that too. Like, I like the actress. I don't like the character because it's a Marvel kind of like, in my opinion, it's like a Marvel insert. But exactly, like the actress is very, very like she did a good job for what she was given. It's just like the stuff that she was given was a little shit to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, dude, you're not even in the wrong for that. And I was kind of bummed because like I was like, America Chavez. Oh, we're getting a Mexican superhero. Let's do this. And then Doctor Strange was speaking Spanish at the beginning of the movie. Sorry, forgot the spoiler warning, but whatever. We're already in this deep. He starts speaking. Spanish. I was just like, oh, it's not bad. Just kind of like, I was surprised how well Benedict Cumberbatch spoke Spanish. I was like, good job, man.
Also, her name is like. That's like Nahuatl or Aztec language. What's it called?
I think it's something. I think you're on the right track. I can't remember exactly.
I can't pronounce it, but that's amazing. I didn't know that was her name. That's really good. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Xochitl Gomez.
How do you say it?
Xochitl? Like it starts with an X, right?
Yeah, it's pronounced differently than.
Oh yeah. It's
I probably butchered it. My bad.
Hey, if I was to pronounce it the way it's written, that's a good way to like saying it. Fair. It's a different language, man. How you can't be expected to like know it.
Yeah.
But yeah, freaking. Are there any other criticisms you want to get into, Rico? Are there any other aspects of this movie that bothered you?
There is one. So Elizabeth Olsen did a great job. My one complaint was basically the plot contrivance part where she's like, "Oh yeah, so where's America Chavez?" And like, you just bring her to me, and then I'll protect her. I'll keep her safe. And then it's like, "Oh well, I never said her name." And he was like, "Ah, you got me. Yeah." And I was like, that was so dumb. I was like, that was like the dumbest reason to like start the conflict in this movie. I was like, oh my god, because she slipped up, like oh my god, that it was so stupid because it's like she's so down to do all this crazy stuff and she's planned so much. She went into this other like she's been chasing her down for like dimensions, like multiverses shit. She's going through all this crazy stuff, and then she like bumbles it all up like on a freaking word. Like it's just like, oh my god, dude.
Okay, I can see that.
It just kind of reminds me of Spider-Man No Way Home when it's like, oh yeah, I didn't tell you the fine print of the spell as I'm casting it, and then we have the entire movie now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's completely fair.
Yeah, it was just like, oh my god. This is like trying to further the plot for it. I was just like, oh my god, man.
Honestly, I didn't hate that scene. I get what you're saying. Like, it's kind of dumb that she just decides, like, you know what? It's time to set my plan into motion because I slipped up.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked it because it led to that scene where she's kind of saying, like she mentions Westview. Like, she doesn't directly say it, but she mentions it when they're talking after she reveals what her actual farmhouse looks like, how it's all red and demented, and it's like all the dead trees and everything. I like how she told him, like, how if you do something that's like against like the course of nature, you're deemed a hero, but when I do it, I'm the villain. She's like, that's not fair. And I was kind of like, that's some good dialogue. It's a good performance on your guys' end. And I liked Doctor Strange's response where he's like, we were in war, that's different. And it was cool to kind of actually see them kind of talk it out the first couple of times before they fought. Like, I like that stuff when there's like that conflict between two different superheroes. Like, they just kind of, like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange in No Way Home during the whole train thing where they're debating the morality of sending the villains back to their deaths, basically. So yeah. I like stuff like that. That's always cool to see.
It's all about perception on that too. Anyone could be the hero and everyone can be the villain.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, is there anything else that you guys want to go over on this?
I'm pretty good on this. Yeah. I just kind of want to throw in my favorite scene, but go ahead, Andrew. What do you got?
I was gonna bring up the Doctor Strange versus Doctor Strange fight that we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so fucking good. I was like, I just realized none of us had mentioned it. I was like, oh my god, what if we don't mention it? I gotta say it now, go.
That's exactly what I was gonna do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
dude.
Shit.
It was so creative and it was so cool. Like when the music notes, they start using them as like projectiles. That was fucking great. They use it plays the sound that the note is. I was like, that's cool. I get it. That's Sam Raimi. That's fucking Sam Raimi right there.
I like how he like goes to the harp and just goes ding, and sends out that one note.
And it goes along with the score that's going on too. Like, that's what I just, oh my god, like, this is just, that's the kind of creativity that I wanted more of in this film. Like, if there was like more of like kind of like that stuff and more of like Sam Raimi's like horror style, like, I definitely would have like notched this movie up like maybe another point. But yeah, dude, freaking, I love that type of creativity in like these type of Marvel movies.
Also, it was very gruesome. Like not only the murder scene, but also like in the beginning when Doctor Strange like gouges out the eyeball from that big like eyeball demon thing that came through. Like, he just like yanked that thing out, and like it was a lot of like gooey stuff that came out. Man, it was super gross.
Yeah.
It made me think for a second, like, what is the rating on this movie? I was like, I thought this was like PG-13 at most. Like, this is kind of bordering a little bit on the higher scale for me.
Which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely another high praise I want to give that. Like, it definitely pushes the PG-13 rating to its fullest, and
Yeah.
I love that Sam Raimi got a chance to make, this type of MCU movie. Like, it is really fucking cool. It for sure stands out to me, like, across the whole scope of MCU movies. Like, for me, this is definitely, like, I would put this in the top tier, but it's on like the lower end. Like, I don't think it's like quite like 10 out of 10 status like some other ones that we've seen, but like it's definitely like fucking up there for me. Like it might be like a top 10 MCU movie for me.
All right, so are you guys ready to get into the ratings?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, Matt, I'll let you go first, dude.
Okay, yeah, friggin', yeah, I really love this movie. I like it more than the first Doctor Strange movie. I am really curious to see what they do in the future. They do set it up in the after credit scene. We didn't mention it, but I can't even remember the character's name right now. But yeah, we for sure do have some more Doctor Strange antics coming soon, and I'm here for it. Yeah, love the action, love the acting. Wish there was a little bit more of multiversal madness, but with what we got, I'm very satisfied. I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10.
How about
Well,
you, Andrew?
I really love this movie. When I first saw it, like when I saw it initially, I gave it a 10 out of 10 because I loved it. I was just so in the moment of everything that I just witnessed. And after talking with you guys, kind of like how we pointed out some of the issues the movie had, I would probably bring the score down, but not by too much, just by like a point. So for me, the movie's like a 9 out of 10. I really liked it. I love that Sam Raimi was the one who got to do this movie because he himself is a big Doctor Strange fan. And the character that Matt mentions who shows up in the end credit scenes is actually a character from the comics. I think her name is Clea or Sela or something like that. But she's basically been like the Sorcerer Supreme, and she's like been married to Doctor Strange in comic continuity. And she's even come back a couple times to help him with certain things. So it was cool to see her show up on screen. Like I recognized her instantly. I was like, "Oh shit, that's his ex-wife from the comics, or wife, depending on what timeline you're reading." So that's the character Matt was talking about. I just wanted to bring that up too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I would have to say that I loved the Sam Raimi bits in this movie. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, this movie, if it was like purely Sam Raimi, like just the visual of like this suburban housewife looking Wanda in like mom clothes, basically just tearing through the Illuminati, skulking through this dark tunnel like with blood on her face, like about to go kill a kid, like. And they don't pull any punches when they say that. She's gonna kill this freaking kid. Like, I love how they're like, yeah, it's gonna be dark. Like, it's gonna be dark like this, and it's like she's like hunting them down. It just feels like some Evil Dead like stuff, dude. I love that. Like that is, and it makes me dislike this movie because I love that bit, because it just seems like there's so much that was like peppered into it that was in the complete opposite tone from what I had hoped it would be. And it seems like there's a lot put into it. Like, so it seems like the pacing of this movie is very, very fast. I would have liked it if there was like more like just longer scenes. I would like kind of flesh out more of the emotional stuff going on in like Doctor Strange. I understand that they had to pack in a lot in this movie, but it just felt like the pacing was really fast. Also, did you guys notice the little like guitar lick or guitar riff whenever the third eye on Doctor Strange came up?
Yeah, very metal.
That was so like wonky to me. That was so.
I love that shit.
I could not take that shit seriously. I was like, "What the hell?"
Wonky.
I was
You're
like,
wonky.
I was like, "Is this supposed to be cool? Am I Am I dull? Like,
It's very Sam Raimi. Like I love that style.
It's like our whole point with it. That's a Sam Raimi bit. Sam
I
Raimi
know.
would do that.
I know it's a Sam Raimi bit, but I just couldn't stand it. I don't know why. I'm like, oh my god, dude. It just reminds me of.
I'm a Raimi fan, but not appreciate his magic.
I know. I feel bad about it, but still, I just couldn't take it seriously. I was like, oh god, I can't get hyped up for.
When you think about it, that's kind of the point, though. It's like you
Yeah.
can take it, but you also can just laugh at it because it's actually kind of funny. Like a third eye.
He's using his dead body too.
Yeah, that was sick. That was awesome.
I love that part. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. All in all, I wish that this movie was full blown Sam Raimi. I really wish that it wasn't like a superhero movie in a way, because I feel like I'm starting to get fatigued. I didn't notice it until after watching this movie that I feel like I'm starting to get a little fatigued with superhero movies, and that sucks that I found that out on this one. But I would have to say that I would give this movie like a 6 out of 10. Just because I wish it would have been like the first like full blown horror movie and changed it up and like strayed away from the path that's common for these types of movies now.
But you really think like that's the quality of this movie? Like really? 6?
It's just like because you have such a damn good the actors are amazing in this movie, but you have like Sam Raimi like directing this, and he's doing like some crazy shit, like stuff that I love, but then it's like sprinkled in between like all these things that I just feel like is just Marvel and just like Disney feeling, and I just don't like it. I just don't like a lot of those parts because they just kind of diminish everything else, in my opinion. Because like you had the scene,
I felt like it was toned down.
yeah, because you had the scene where it's like Scarlet Witch is killing people like left and right, like just like crazy stuff, and then she just gets flurried by a little girl, and it's just like I don't understand it. I don't know, man. But again, that's just how I feel. But because I just feel the pacing was weird on it, and I feel like if they just gave it all to Sam Raimi, like it would have been amazing.
Well, first off, you're wrong. No kidding.
That's fine.
I completely get what you're saying though, because it does. That was one of the other reasons too that I went from like a 10 to a 9. The reason I give it such a high score is because despite all the hoops I'm sure Sam Raimi had to jump through to get this movie made the way he wanted to, I still think it's an overall good product. But could it have been stronger? I definitely think so. In aspects of horror and Sam Raimi being allowed to push the envelope further like he always does with all his other movies. So I get why you're saying that, but I feel like 6 is like kind of harsh. Like if it was like a 7,
that's why I'm like, you gave hell
like I feel like
praise.
6.
I'm like, what?
Because like
Yeah.
6 kind of like
Hey,
6 is like D- territory, and I don't think this movie's like a D-.
hey, I would.
That's why I'm like, what?
Yeah, I give all of like the horror and like all that, like I would give that a 10 immediately. But it's just like there's so much things in it that I just did not like, that it really just drags it down. And because those scenes are so good, it makes me hate that those scenes were even in it. And I'm just like, it just kind of ruins the movie for me. And it made me feel like super fatigued after watching this. I was just like, man, I just kind of need to take a break from superhero movies for a bit, just because I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, man. Like, because I walked out of it really liking those parts, but then at the same time my overall feeling just felt a little tainted, and I was just like, I can't even like say I had a really good time with that.
I mean, like I've been feeling fatigued for like the past few years, and like I feel like this is like more of like a breath of fresh air, honestly. Like that's why I'm like really surprised. Like I'll definitely take this, like all these creative choices over like something basic like fucking like Eternals or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like where they're just doing like the most basic shit that we've seen like a million times. I love that we're actually like getting something a little different. Like it's kind of like, it reminds me of like James Gunn when like they kind of gave him that creative freedom with Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, I definitely want more of like these directors' voices in these movies, these are the ones that like stand out more to me than like the typical just Marvel schlock.
Now,
But yeah, I get it though.
in a way to kind of defend myself in this is like let's Andrew could probably understand this too, is in a lot of comic books they don't have a happy ending by the time their little series is up. Like for instance Batman Hush, like Batman loses, like he's like broken after it, he's all like I can't trust anyone, like all this stuff, and it ends on such a sad note, like he's alone, he doesn't have Catwoman. Hush is still out there, and basically, like a lot of comics end on such sad notes. What kind of upsets me about it is that this one like ended on a relatively good note. Like the antagonist had her come up in. She also redeemed herself a little bit by destroying an evil across every dimension, and it's like it just kind of like oh yeah, they redeemed themselves, like that kind of thing, and then just kind of ended on a good note and like oh yeah, let's go on our next adventure. But it's like I feel like they need to take like more risk and end things on more depressing notes. Like they should feel sad that Wanda died. They should feel like damn, we just lost a friend.
Well,
you know?
who do you mean by they? Like who should be sad that Wanda's dead? I mean, I don't think she's dead, but who you referring to as like they? Like Doctor Strange or?
Yeah, Doctor Strange. Pretty much anyone that is associated with Wanda. Like, I feel like what happened to her is actually very, very sad. She's just a living tragedy throughout all of it. And it's like, I don't know. I just wish that it didn't have like every single Marvel movie has to end on a good note. Like, it has to end on like something positive or something like that. Like, I wish it just like took that tone that was so like dark and everything and just kept it throughout, you know? Like, ended on a somber note.
At that point, that's more of the studio than anything else, really. Like, you can't really.
No, that's why I can't say anything about Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi did a fantastic job. I just wish that they went full balls to the wall with it and just like took it somewhere that other Marvel movies don't end off at.
Right.
I don't fully agree. I mean, if they would have ended on a darker note, I would have felt like, all right, well then there's for sure going to be another one where they need to kind of like, end it on a more positive note. Which, I mean, kind of sets up kind of like a cliffhanger for like another movie. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I know we're getting like another Doctor Strange even with like a more positive ending. But yeah, I mean, I like the ending still. I mean, like I said, I don't need all my Marvel movies to end super dark. I mean, it just depends on what everyone's going for, but it didn't bother me with this one. But yeah, freaking. Are there any other things you guys want to get out there? I mean, we're gonna get hella hung up on just this one aspect, but yeah, I'm pretty done with Doctor Strange too.
Yeah, I'm good.
We can move forward because like as much as I want to keep talking about the point that Rico made because it is a really interesting and good point. We still got another movie.
Yeah, we still got a time frame on this too. Alright, so moving on to the second movie, it's going to be my recommendation actually. It's Big Trouble in Little China. And this is going to follow Jack Burton, the pilot of the Pork Chop Express, going in trying to just collect money that he won fair and square from a gambling bet with his good pal. Oh crap, I forgot his name.
Yeah, my computer's not working right now either, so I can't even look it up.
From his good pal Wang Chi. And then then going alongside with him to the airport to go pick up his future girlfriend or whatever, or his like mail order bride or whatever. He's told that she's Asian with green eyes, and this is actually something that is very rare. And a supernatural entity known as Lopan wants her to fulfill like an old curse that has been bestowed upon him, to break that curse and to basically be immortal with flesh again. So Jack Burton is a very American, very stupid macho man kind of guy, having to deal with all these things that he's not culturally prepared for. So I personally freaking love this movie, but I am incredibly curious to know how you guys felt about it. Andrew, I know you watched it one time very long ago, and Matt, I know you've never watched it until now, so I'm really curious to see how you guys think about this, or felt about this. So
You can go first, Andrew.
Okay. I liked it. It was really fun. There were issues that I had with the movie, and that's more of, obvious things like dated effects and stuff like that. There some of the practical stuff, which is, John Carpenter is famous for. It's great. Really good stuff. Like, I liked how just to get into the movie, I really liked how the creature designs kind of resembled the artwork of the time, kind of like, what was it? Because it's Chinese mythology, right? That they're kind of touching upon.
yes,
Yeah, so I liked how the art kind of resembled kind of like Chinese, like old ancient artwork kind of stuff. Like, I thought that was really cool. And like the first creature they encounter, that green one, not the green, the orange one, the monkey looking like one. He looked like a monkey that was drawn in like old Chinese art styles. Like, I liked how he looked like that, but brought to life.
are you talking about the one that was like in the sewer?
He's like, he looks like a monkey, but he's like orange, like kind of hairy. I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking
Are you
about?
talking about the one that's in the final shot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you look at it and you think about how Chinese and like even like Japanese art kind of looked, like that's kind of how it looked. So I thought that was really cool. Like the elongated mouth, longer limbs, fingers were kind of longer too. In some art, it kind of looks like that. So I thought that was cool. Like, it kind of into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I guess it's my turn. Yeah. I did not like this movie.
Really? Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I could not get into it. I was struggling. I'm not gonna lie. And so, like, I don't know. That's not to say like I hated every aspect of this movie. There actually are some parts that like I think are well done. I think I do think Kurt Russell is awesome in the movie. Oh my god, who's the dude? Dennis Dunn, his sidekick or whatever.
Wang Chi.
Yeah, they do great. Like, I really do like their camaraderie together. Like, they do work well off each other. And I do understand that the movie is kind of like a spoof on like the stereotypical American, badass in movies. Like, because he fucks up the entire fucking movie. And so, like, I understand, like, that's the tone they're going for. Like, all right, like, you think he's going to be the main hero, but he's not. It's fucking Dennis Dunn's character.
Yeah.
Like, he is the actual badass of the fucking movie. And I did appreciate that subversion of expectation. I understand that it's kind of it's a spoof on these types of, like, American action movies. And I do like that aspect of it. I just could not connect with the comedy, like, at all. Like, it's just, I guess that was like, my major gripe with it, or one of them. I just could not get into the comedy. Like, I didn't find any of it funny. Some of it is, I guess, somewhat charming, but I couldn't connect with it. Like, I just did not find any of these scenes funny at all. And it's just weird because the movie sets up that we're going to get, I don't remember the character's name, but you're going to basically get the bus driver's perspective. But then the entire movie starts with, scenarios that he can't possibly know about. Like, it starts off, it just quickly fucking cuts over to Kurt Russell, and, he's, driving to the bay, and all right, cool. And even Kurt Russell is set up as a badass. Like, he wins at his gambling table, and he fucking catches a bottle, like, with crazy, like, reflexes. So he is set up as like kind of, he's going to be a badass. And I don't know why you have that kind of setup if you're just not gonna, go through with it. Like I said, I understand that this is kind of like a spoof on the American hero, which you get, later on, but I just don't get why you would do that initial setup that like, oh, he's a badass and whatnot. It's just very contradictory to me. And yeah, I didn't like that aspect, even though like I did like the acting. I did think the actors did a really good job with what they were given. Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely get into more details, but yeah, my initial thoughts are I didn't really connect with this movie personally, but yeah, I was I guess one thing I'm curious about is because I know Rico did a lot more research on this movie, but how did you feel about the sets in this movie? Because I don't know, for me personally, like I could definitely tell that these were sets, but I don't know. I feel like the point of sets are to, immerse you. Like there are just so many occurrences where I'm like, okay, this is a set. Like I don't know. For me, I just kind of get brought out of it, and so yeah, I was curious what you guys thought on some of the sets.
Andrew, you can go first.
Oh, okay. I kind of liked the sets, but I do agree with Matt that it was like kind of obvious that they were sets and they didn't feel like they were immersing you. Which again, watching this movie, it's also very fast paced, and I picked up on it very quickly, and I was just kind of like, either this is intentional or this is a bad John Carpenter movie. I'm gonna just watch it through and then figure it out from there. And I'm still a little undecided because I do like this movie. I do. I enjoy it. I think it's fun. It's ridiculous comedy. Like I did laugh at the point. I guess spoiler alert, when Kurt Russell's character Jack is tied up to a wheelchair, and he's rolling down this ridiculously long ramp, and he's just screaming the entire time, and it made me laugh because thinking about the fact that Kurt Russell probably had to do that more than once.
Yeah.
He probably had to shoot that more than one time, and the whole time he's just committed to screaming, and his scream is just really funny. I don't know, it made me laugh. But that was another thing that was kind of an issue for me, I guess, is how fast paced it is, whether it's intentional or not. I was kind of like, this is all moving very quickly, and there's a lot of things I feel like that need to be explained, but they're not going to be explained, so I can't really go any further into it like that. That's what my process was when I was watching the movie sometimes. But it was still funny. Like I enjoyed the comedy for what it was. It could have been a little better, I guess, the movie overall, but I did not hate it. It was not bad, at least for me.
Yeah, so a lot of the scenes, I can understand what you're saying, that it looks like a set, because you got a lot of so whenever someone hits the floor, in a few scenes you can actually see that they have the padded floor on it. So it's they had to hit that specific spot, and it's they get it kind of guided to that spot to land on. And then it just seems like everything is either hallways or very tight spaces where everyone has to be frontward facing towards the camera. It seems as if they're in a play, everyone has to be facing towards the camera. No one has their back turned, really. Mm-hmm. So it does have that kind of amateur type of feel on it, which is really crazy because it's a freaking John Carpenter. But yeah, I feel like
and this is after The Thing.
It really is. This is after The Thing, so it's but so it makes me feel like a lot of it was intentional to do, because they didn't want the traditional American hero, like what you were saying, when Wang Chi was supposed to be the main character of it, and then Kurt Russell was just supposed to be the bumbling sidekick. So, but that's kind of studio interference on that. That kind of changed up the script on that. So, and then also the reason why this movie seems very fast paced, moving boom, 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 next scene, is because they filmed this thing in a crazy fast amount of time because because the Golden Child with Eddie Murphy was coming out around the same time, and it had like the same Chinese mystical aspects in it. So they wanted it to be released sooner so that they could, because Eddie Murphy is a bigger name than Kurt Russell was at the time, like much bigger. So it was like they wanted it to be like their movie come out first, have the quality, and then have Eddie Murphy's movie come out after, because they would not have been able to compete with it. But they also got screwed because Aliens came out like a couple weeks after they came out.
Ooh.
Which, if you compared this movie to Aliens, there's no freaking contest between it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the box office performance by any chance, Rico?
Dude, this flopped.
Yeah.
Flopped bad, despite having a massively positive massively positive test screening views. It got annihilated by like just a good performing year in like movies.
Yeah, it's sad because it didn't make its budget back.
Yeah. But
yeah, this budget was like 20 to 25 million, but it only grossed 11.
Oof.
But the one thing that is interesting about it is that it is kind of like, it does follow kind of like that John Carpenter kind of formula, shouldn't use that word, but it had legs in terms of like over the years it's gained its cult classic. Like people do know about this movie. I even knew about this movie before you even recommended it. So it's definitely made its impact. It definitely found its audience, which I'm happy about.
If I can just chime in real quick after that, exactly what you said. Like it does have its cult following and everything, and I was telling you guys about it yesterday, but Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson tried to get a remake in the works for this, and he also got like a team together to start writing a script, because this is like one of his favorite movies when he was growing up, and he really wanted to play Jack Burton. And that just goes to show, like, even though this movie did terribly, it still was beloved by many, especially freaking The Rock, who wanted to remake it.
Yeah, I could definitely see the appeal.
Yeah, and like I said, like I still don't think, like when we were talking about it yesterday, I still don't think it would work. I don't think The Rock could do it.
Oh yeah, no, dude. Like
The Rock would just turn himself into the main character and then sideline Wang's character. So I wouldn't want to get behind that. I don't know, and I feel like The Rock would just be The Rock. He wouldn't play, because Kurt Russell has this like I don't want to say, he has like this everyman quality to him, Kurt Russell. So
Yeah.
it makes more to give him the role and just kind of leave it alone and not really. Maybe you can remake it like another 30 years, who knows? And when people forget who Kurt Russell is or whatever.
He's a better actor too.
I doubt will happen, but
yeah, I doubt that will happen. No one will forget Kurt Russell. He's amazing.
He's fucking Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Dude was in the thing. Like, this is one of my favorite movies ever. So like, no way anyone's ever forgetting him. But you know, I just can't see The Rock doing it. The Rock would just be too rocky about it, you know?
Yeah, so
Too distracting.
Jack Burton, like his charm was like how like inept he was. Like he couldn't pull out a knife without throwing it across the room and then missing an entire fight because of it. Like he was
that's about his performance. Like Kurt Russell, he just like when he missed the guy, he just made this face like, fuck, I'm sorry, and like everyone just kind of looked at him.
It's like if it was The Rock, he would have soloed everyone with like one hand tied behind his back or something, or he would he would walk in with a minigun and just start going off on him that he took from a helicopter.
Yeah, because woman,
you say some dope one-liner.
Yeah, like Jack Burton is just, he's so like goofy and inept that he thinks he's like this badass, but he's not. And it's like, it's so good because he's like in this really awkward like position when he stabs this one character in the heart or something with his knife boot, and then the guy falls on him and he's stuck in this weird position where he's like getting mounted and he can't get out of it. And it's like, that's what makes Jack Burton like a charming character, is that he strays away from the action hero type person.
Yeah.
I agree there.
And
Yeah, he's definitely doing like he was the standout for me. Like he did good with what he was given, Kurt Russell. Even though like I didn't personally connect with the goofiness and whatnot, like he still did great. Like I can acknowledge that he definitely like acted great. Freaking, I could definitely see like why he's definitely considered one of the greats. Like I don't think I've ever seen him in a movie of like this kind of goofy caliber. Personally, I mean, I probably have, but I mean, I can't really think of all of his movies right now. But yeah, I do like that. From an acting perspective, it does allow him to kind of like flex his comedy muscles a lot. And yeah, I mean, he did great. Even though I didn't personally connect with like the comedy and whatnot.
yeah, he's a great physical comedian. He kind of reminds me of Bruce Campbell in a way.
Interesting. Yeah, I could see that. Okay. So freaking, what did you guys think about like the well, shit. There is one major gripe I have with this movie too. I think the action is awful.
Oh, it
Like,
is. It
like,
is, dude.
Like I understand, like some of it is like that, but I'm just like, bro, like they're literally just like swinging the swords like back and forth, like in just like one fucking area. Like they're literally just waving it. Like these aren't action sequences. Like what is this?
Okay, so
It made me realize that John Carpenter can't direct action.
yeah, dude. Oh my god. If you see like all the parts with the three storms, thunder, rain, and lightning, like anytime they're about to do something, they always have to pose before it, and it's like they take up so
Yeah.
much time that the people are able to escape before they even like go towards them. It's like it's so like bad. It like rewatching it, I was like, oh man, I forgot how terrible the action was in this. It's like when Wang Chi was going up against I think it was Rain, when he was going up against him, and he was like, they're having that sword fight that you were talking about. They're legit just like jumping in the air and then slashing one time, jumping in the air, slashing one time, and it goes on for so long.
It really does.
And then you can even see where the Wang Chi's doing like a flip. He stops and his stunt double is like very clearly being shown, and then it clips to him.
Yeah. That's one of the scenes that brought it down for me. The movie, I was kind of like, I know this was probably intentional, but I'm not liking this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I get that, yeah.
But what I really liked about it was all the it really goes like balls to the walls with all the like practical effects in the regards to like the Watcher Guardian, like how he's like a really disgusting eye thing. Like all the monsters in it look disgusting. Like you got that one bug that came out of the wall, the gorilla, the
Yeah.
like Lopan looks great too. He looks like something that should be out of like art, like when he's devil Lopan or a ghost Lopan, whatever he is.
Mm-hmm. I actually like the scene with Lopan where he's just kind of sitting there in the office, and then he starts lighting up, like his whole, like that quick effect of his like face being lit up, like it looks like his body is genuinely being lit up by like some godly light before he transforms into his original form and is in that like little temple thing he has,
and it
or
is
whatever.
And that is a practical effect. That's not like digital or anything. That's an actual practical effect. So they made a molding of his face and everything, and then basically decorated. They made it up until what his old person face is looking like, and then they loaded that shit up with lights, and then they like lit it up. But they could only do it for like a little bit, or else it would start smoking through the material because it would get so hot and bright in there that it would actually melt the material. So they had to do it like super quick in order to like be able to have that kind of effect. And it wasn't like digital or anything, which I thought that was really cool because I thought that was digital. I totally thought it was
Yeah, I thought so too. So like now that you tell me it's practical, it just makes sense too because that's what Carpenter is like famous for. So Yeah, that's actually really dope. I fuck with that even more now.
Yeah, dude. Like, because if you look at the thing, man, that thing is crazy freaking practical effects. That's like the benchmark of it. Going to this, uh, that's awesome if you can have like a practical effect that can kind of look like a digital effect. So
Yeah.
that's pretty sick. Even though I wish that there was a lot more in this, though.
Mm-hmm.
I actually do kind of want to get into like some of the like the costume designs in this movie because like I don't find it as like I said I understand this movie is going for a different tone, completely different from the thing, but like just the whole the thing looks fucking disgusting except it looks amazing in almost every shot except for like a few like stop motion scenes. But other than that, like that still holds up. The creatures in this, they do look more like how like the thing looked with like those scenes towards the end. Like I wasn't immersed with some of these, even though like I did like appreciate how they looked. Like how Rico was saying, like they do look disgusting. Like they do. Like they like that is like they hit the nail on the head there. But they don't look real. Like at all. Like like the especially like the orange creature that Andrew was referring to. Like it just kind of to me it looked like like a guy in a gorilla suit to an extent.
Yeah,
like I didn't think it looked that great.
And you could tell that it's a guy in a gorilla suit because he can't move his hands. So when he takes what's her name, Gracie Law, and then is like chaining her up, he's not doing it. She's chaining herself up. He's just blocking the camera so that they can't see it. But he can't move his hands to do that.
I thought I was crazy. I was like, is he not doing anything? And like, why is he just standing over her? And then I see the chains and I was just like, oh. And it confused me and I didn't realize that, he couldn't move his hand. So that makes more sense now because I was just like, why is he just standing over her like that? It doesn't look like he's like chaining her up or anything.
Yeah, it seems like they just kind of missed the ball on some of the practical effects, like the practicalness of it, like trying to do certain things. Like they couldn't have that guy in it for most of it because he couldn't do anything in that suit.
Right.
Interesting. Huh. That's a cool little tidbit of information. I'm never going to unsee that now.
Yeah.
But yeah, freaking, I want to hear what you guys really loved about it. I know I've been hella sour on it. There are some other elements that I like. Like, I really like how this area does feel kind of mystical, or I do love that element of anybody could just accidentally stumble upon this, where he was oh my god, I don't know his character name, but when Dennis Dunn was telling Kurt Russell, "Turn now," it's just some alleyway, and then you just stumble upon all this crazy ass mystical shit. I do love that aspect where this is all going on underground, but you aren't aware of it. Nobody knows. I do love some of those aspects.
Yeah, and then you just see
what do you guys think?
You just see a funeral procession getting shot up by a rival gang.
Yeah. A Chinese standoff.
Yeah.
I liked. Oh, go ahead, Rico.
No. Go ahead.
I said, go ahead, Rico.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. But a lot of the jokes in this movie are something that I talk about, or I used to do with my siblings a lot. Like the whole the good gang, whenever they were like, oh yeah, nice, and then they would do that little thing where they stick out their hand with their index finger up and their other hand's bent, or fingers bent. They just do that little sign to them, and then when they take that juice and everything, and they're like, I feel pretty freaking invincible. They start doing it back to everyone, and then they just keep doing it to each other. Throughout the rest of the movie, they're just constantly doing the little finger gesture thing.
I wanted to ask, do you know, Rico, if that thing that that egg was carrying, was that just alcohol?
I'm pretty
sure
he
was fucking around.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just booze. He kept saying it was a magic potion, which it could have been a potion that, but I don't know. It seems like it should be a potion.
Okay. Because the way it hinted at and the whole idea that this is like a spoof thing, it made me go, maybe that just has alcohol in there. And like he's just telling them that because he wants to.
Yeah, just take
Like
a shot before.
Potion. Yeah.
And it's funny too because they're at a bar while they're doing that. They're like pouring shots and like cheers.
Yeah. And then they get in the elevator and Kurt Russell's like, I feel invincible. Yeah. It's really hot. And then he just like says that right after. So it's just like, it is booze?
Yeah, then you see that one guy in like an extra in the elevator, like he's like, yeah, dude. He sticks it with his hand and then puts his hand on Egg Chen, and then just like starts rubbing his shoulder, and Egg Chen's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I did see that. I was the same way. I was just like, what? Yeah.
Whenever I drink, I'm always like, I'm always that weird person that starts rubbing things. So I'll be standing next to a wall if I'm like drunk or something. I'll just start rubbing the wall. Like I like how this feels on my fingers.
Oh wow, that's
So I related to that. I related to that guy.
Probably should have kept that to yourself, Rico.
Hey, I was like, that's drunk action right there. That's
drunk action.
I relate to that guy.
I never took you for a wall caresser, Rico.
Oh, I caress. I caress. I'll let you know.
Hey, as long as the walls consent, then it's fine.
Yeah, if the wall's cool with it, then it's okay, Rico. But yeah, freaking. Are there any other aspects that you guys really love or dislike? Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to hear some of your criticisms, Rico, considering you love this movie a lot.
So, I love this movie, but I know it's not a great movie. I would say it's a good movie, but I love this movie because of the personality. However, addressing all the things that I would criticize about it is that there's a lot of characters in this movie that have no character. So anyone that's not a part of the main cast, they don't have any lines. And then you have Mao Yin, who is Wang Chi's love interest. She has no personality. She's just a woman with green eyes. She has no personality. All of the storms, they go out like punks. Like, there's no action in it that's like considered like decent action. And then a lot of it you can see through the practical effect. So it's like it just reminds you of like a very low budget movie or a very high budget TV show.
It kind of reminded me of like a very expensive B movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that. Those are the vibes it gave me.
Like I feel like if I had watched this movie as an adult instead of as a child, then I probably would not have thought twice about this movie. But
I mean, I guess that's my criticism, yeah, because like I'm watching it for the first time now, and I'm like, okay, if I watched this when I was younger, maybe like 10 to 12 or something, I probably would have loved this thing. But like, I don't know, like just watching it, just with my adult brain. I mean, we're all humans. We all go through different phases of our life. We all feel different emotions. But yeah, I just had a really tough time connecting with a lot of things, that we just previously discussed. But yeah, freaking, I remember asking you yesterday, Rico, if this movie influenced your opinion, whether it be positive or negative. Yeah, I was curious on what because I mean, we're waiting for this discussion to bring it up. I was curious how you felt about it now with your adult brain. Like, did you feel like you enjoyed it more now, or did you feel like you enjoyed it a little bit less, but you still appreciate and love it for what it is?
I would have to go with the latter. I still appreciate it for what it is, but I did feel like the quality kind of dipped with my adult brain because I did see it like, and I feel like this is a bad habit of myself, but I do like kind of look for like, oh, how did they do this? Oh, that's how they did it. Oh, that's a fake ground right there. Oh, that's obviously not his real hands. It's like And then there's also just a very, like, if you're not Jack Burton, Egg Chen, or Wang Chi, you're basically a nobody in this movie. Like, you have no, like, defining characteristic about you. You're just a very, like, a few lines here, a few lines there type of person, or no lines at all. Oh, Lo Pan is amazing too, though. But yeah, that's it. It just kind of like docks it down because it does seem like it was filmed fast, and it does seem like the writing wasn't like top notch. Like it feels like the writing wasn't distributed to everyone else to make everyone memorable.
Yeah. And I noticed that Kurt Russell's character Jack kept saying "what the hell" a lot. Like he said it a lot,
Yeah.
a lot to the
Yeah.
point where like at one point towards the end where he's just like, "Well, it's like Jack Byrne always says, what the hell."
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, "All right, I'll give you that one, but you're saying what the hell too much."
Yeah.
It definitely came across as like, all right, this is gonna be his thing. That's his line.
Yeah.
Oh, it's his line, all right. It's his line, his monologue, his soliloquy. It's everything he says.
Yes, poetic. Oh,
Hey,
damn.
his opening dialogue is actually sick. I really like how he's just like the
Oh,
Dan
yeah.
Connor of this kind of movie.
But it sets him up as a badass, which he isn't for the movie.
And that's actually because the studio wanted him to be a badass. Like that scene was added by the studio. Like originally it started off with like Wang Chi, I believe, like a scene with him, but the studio wanted Kurt Russell to be a bigger part, so they had that entire intro changed to suit him instead of any other character.
Well, it sets up the bus driver in the very first.
Yeah, exactly.
Scene.
Egg Chen, I meant. Yeah, Egg Chen.
Yeah, but he's not like a very important recurring character. Like he doesn't have like crazy ramifications on the plot. But I don't know. I just found it weird to introduce the movie with him talking to like a lawyer of some sort. Yeah. And like, but yeah, you get the implication that it's going to be from his perspective, but the entire movie isn't.
Yeah, then it never goes back to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Egg Chen's all like,
I was like, is it going to wrap around back at the end here? But it never did. I thought it was going to like, oh, yeah, that was the story of Jack and blah 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 blah. And yeah, I was really surprised by that.
Although it does say like implicate some weird stuff when they say that. It's like, where is Jack Burton? Where is he? No one's been able to find him or the truck. And then at the end shot, Jack Burton's leaving, and then it shows that Gorilla Beast come out of the interior of the truck and like do his little last war. So it made me think like, oh fuck, man, Jack Burton got killed. Like the thing like killed him, ran him off the road, and he's probably like in some ditch like decomposing.
Probably.
I do find it interesting that they set up a sequel that never gets like delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me sad because like it's crazy because like years later this became a cult following and people probably I mean, like I said, I know I'm in the minority with disliking it, but I know a lot of people would appreciate like a sequel to this.
Yeah. I mean, they did try. I mean, they still have an ongoing comic book series for this. But this is like a really crazy little tidbit that I wanted to like squeeze in here. So, can you imagine Jack Burton being played by Clint Eastwood?
Huh?
No.
Yeah, because originally he was the original actor considered for the part of Jack Burton. And they even made a joke because like when they were writing the script for this movie,
Harry.
yeah, they made the Dirty Harry joke. They're all like, pulls out a 357 Magnum, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll make you feel like Dirty Harry." And that was,
oh wow,
that was because the script was originally written for Clint Eastwood to be the main character, or to be Jack Burton.
Huh.
Okay,
It makes-
that's wild. I was like, oh, they're rep. I thought I took it as like, oh, they're spoofing on Clint Eastwood and like those kind of movies because like it's in Jack Burton's hand. He's gonna fuck up with it.
Yeah.
That's how I took it as. But damn, Rico just added hella more context to it. That's crazy.
Makes more sense.
Yeah, it just shows that like there's a lot planned for this movie, but so many things changed. They had to bump up their production schedule. They had to basically change the intro because it was the studio wanted Jack Burton to have a bigger presence with that intro dialogue in the truck. They dropped the whole Egg Chen lawyer setup that they had, and then yeah, dude, there's just so many things that had to get changed throughout. And then of course Clint Eastwood didn't take the part, and then Jackie Chan also didn't take the part either.
Oh,
I'm glad about one of those. I think Jackie Chan would have been pretty cool.
He would have. I honestly think that it would have been fun as hell to have him, but apparently he also turned it down too. He was turned down because Jackie Chan. They felt like Jackie Chan. The studio felt like Jackie Chan didn't speak enough English. Which, I mean, come on, man, it's Jackie Chan. He would have been able.
I
to
mean,
do
it's
all
out there
those.
in another universe.
Yeah, if Jackie Chan was in this movie, the action would have been crazy because Jackie Chan would have choreographed himself.
yeah, that would have been
That's
dope to
true.
Like, damn, that sucks. Actually, thinking about that.
see. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, huge missed opportunity. But yeah, are there anything else you guys want to get into about the movie?
No, I think
Oh.
I'm pretty good. Oh, go ahead.
Remember one part I liked. I liked the part where, I'm forgetting his name now. Not Jax, but the other guy, the sidekick.
Wang Chi.
Wang Chi.
Yeah.
I like their little scene together where he's explaining what is actually going on, and Jack says no bullshit. He's like, I don't blame you for not believing. He's like, hell, I didn't even believe this either. Like I like that little scene. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. I enjoyed that part. That's all right. That's all I wanted to bring up.
Because it's
That's all
all
I
like
got.
rooted in like Chinese like culture and everything. He's like, even I didn't believe this shit. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I love Dennis Dunn's line when they're in the alleyway when the Chinese showdown is going on. Freaking he was like no questions, Jack, just drive, and it's like that's kind of like the perfect line for this movie.
Yeah.
Like just don't question this shit, just
Just
go
watch.
along with it. So like I did like that line. I was like, okay, that was good. It does go in line with the movie. Just don't question this shit. But me, I couldn't help it with some shit. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to get into, or you guys want to get into ratings?
I'd say
Good
we're
to
good
get into
for
ratings.
Yeah, I'd say we're good to get to the ratings right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll go first. Yeah, like I said, I did not personally connect this movie for a multitude of reasons, but I could definitely, recognize that there are some gold nuggets in here, like Kurt Russell's performance, and the same with Dennis Dunn's. But yeah, Rico did, articulate it very well. That like, yeah, everyone else is just very disposable. Like they're not even a character. They don't have any arcs or personality or anything like that. The sets are okay. Like I said, I wasn't fully immersed by them. Same with the action. I felt a lot of it lackluster. I probably laughed at or chuckled twice, but this is like a full blown comedy, so freaking yeah. Just for me personally, like I didn't connect with the comedy, and just a lot of the other reasons that I said. But yeah, I personally give this one a. Sorry, Rico, but I give this one a 4 out of 10.
Ooh.
That
Yeah, I think it's Carpenter's worst movie that I've seen. I know he's like made other shit, but I haven't watched a lot of that shit. But for me, this is like down there with like Christine. Like that was also like another John Carpenter movie that I was kind of lukewarm on.
was that
But-
the car one?
It's the car one, yeah.
Okay.
It's not the best, but I think I do like it a little bit more than this, like slightly. Like I didn't love that movie either, but yeah, this is probably my least favorite John Carpenter movie personally.
Yikes.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Didn't connect with me personally,
well, I mean
but
that's
yeah,
understandable, man. I get that though.
yeah. What did you think, Andrew? What's your rating, my dude?
Well, if I were to give this movie an honest rating, uh, I feel bad, but I'd give it like a 6. It's fun. It's very entertaining, but it's still not a good enough movie to get a higher score than that from me. That's what I would say. Just because I guess some of the dated effects and the writing kind of ruin it for me because I was just, when you look back, like Carpenter had The Thing, which had really good practical effects and really good effects overall, even though the ones towards the end weren't that great. And you can also consider that he probably had more time on The Thing than he did with this movie. But I don't know. I feel like I could have enjoyed it more, but I didn't get to because there's things that pulled me out of it sometimes. So yeah, I'm a 6 out of 10 rating for this one.
All right, so if I was to give my completely honest rating of this, probably a few weeks ago, I would have said this is a 9 out of 10, dude. This is like one of my favorite fucking movies. No fucking issues whatsoever in this movie. Perfect as is. Watching it again, holy shit, there's a lot of fucking issues, man. It's like everything I said earlier, man. There's no fucking character with a lot of the other characters. Jack Burton is so fucking good that he completely eclipses everyone else. Wong Chi was supposed to be the main character, and he's like fucking sidekick status, man. I can't even remember the fucking you guys couldn't even remember his fucking name. He's so forgettable. Their dynamic was cool in the beginning when they were like pals, threatening each other, but then be like, you know what, fuck it, you're cool, and then it was cool like that, but it just kept getting more sidelined to everything else, and it just became a Jack Burton show after that. And then you could tell that this movie is super rushed. Holy shit, it is rushed, man. It's in some shots you have Lopan's astral projection being 10 feet tall. Other shots, he looks like he's the same size as other people. And it's you could tell that they were rushing a lot throughout it. You could tell that a lot of the scenes needed a second take. There's scenes where the stunt double is doing a flip and then finishes his flip, and he's in complete scene of, or in complete shot of the camera. It's clearly not Dennis Dunn, and it's not him, but they kept it in because they couldn't just keep doing it. So it's like you could see there was a lot of mistakes throughout the entire fucking movie, and it's they couldn't you look at The Thing, where it had dogs with tentacles coming out, hella crazy stuff, dogs getting strung up by tentacles and pulled over, people getting melted and shit and morphed together and disgusting things. And in this movie you have a gorilla monster that can't even move his fucking arms, and it's it just seems like in every step of the way the quality is amateur compared to what it could have been. When you have an actor or a director like John Carpenter, who's proven his fucking shit through many, many different movies, it's just kind of sad that it's not as great as what childhood me remembers it being. But all in all, I'm still gonna rate this motherfucker as a 7, just because I got those nostalgia goggles on, man. I fucking love this movie. Jack Burton all the fucking way. Kurt Russell, hell yeah. and then I even love Lopan's fucking coke nail. That was cool. And he's out here playing the fucking video game with the astral projection beam that he was shooting off at Eric Chen. He has character. I always love James Hong, who was in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I'm so glad he's still alive, because damn, he's amazing. He's a very like infamous voice actor too.
You can't forget Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, dude has like over like 170 like acting credits, I think.
Does he
He did a
really?
lot of shit.
Oh my god.
I don't know that for sure. I do know he's notorious for having like a really big IMDb acting list. So he has been in a lot of shit.
He's
It is
amazing.
for sure like over 100.
Yeah. And then there's
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda 2 and Kung Fu Panda 3.
He's in
Bro,
Kung
that
Fu.
could be a trilogy recommendation one day.
I really liked him in Kung Fu Panda. I don't know. I just liked him. I liked his role in those movies. I always thought he was fun in those. So I always loved. Whenever we mention James Hong, I'm always gonna mention Kung Fu Panda.
You know, I had to think about it when you said that. I was like, who the fuck was he in Kung Fu Panda? I was like, oh, the dad.
Played the dad. Yeah.
Dude, they're still making TV shows for Kung Fu Panda.
I know, it's crazy, right?
What?
Yeah, The Dragon Knight is in post-production in 2022.
What? What's it called?
Kung Fu Panda: The Dragon Knight. It's a TV series
Dragon-
that's in post-production right now.
Oh, they're on night now. Before it used to just be the Dragon Warrior.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm behind on my Kung Fu Panda lore, guys. I got to catch up.
Yeah.
Same. I've only watched the first one. I gotta watch the 2 and 3,
Oh.
whatever this is.
This is a TV series. They got hella TV series from what I'm looking at, dude. Like Kung Fu Panda: The Paws of Destiny, which was 2018 to 2022. Hell, he was even in Batman: Soul of the Dragon in 2021.
Oh shit!
What? Was he?
Yeah, Star Wars Visions.
Oh.
Oh wow, interesting. Yeah, he's in a lot of shit. Oh, like I said.
Jesus Christ, dude, he has so many things coming out too.
Of course he does. He's James Hong.
Yeah, but dude, Everything Everywhere All at Once, great fucking movie. It completely reminded me of James Hong. I was like, dude, he's fucking Lopan. What the hell? And that's what made me want to revisit Big Trouble. And I'm kind of sad that I did, because it's not as great as I remember it being.
Hey man, it's okay. I mean, I guess I kind of had that same effect with like the Star Wars prequels. Like, you know, my child brain like loved those movies, and I still do love those movies. But like 100%, like when you watch it with your adult brain, you're like, okay, yeah, a lot of this shit does not hold up, especially like those special effects and whatnot.
If
So-
I'm being honest, like, since we're on that subject, I feel like that's how a lot of the Star Wars movies are. They're just kind of protected by our nostalgia. Like,
Yeah.
but when you look at them, they are kind of bad movies overall.
Other-
Oh yeah,
I would say,
totally.
other than Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, which I actually enjoy, like, I don't like any of the prequel trilogy. Cool characters introduced in it, but they just get killed off immediately. And then the original trilogy, I guess, what is it? The Empire Strikes Back is really good.
Yeah, that is a good one. Yeah.
But yeah, I found nothing redeemable about the sequel trilogy.
Oh yeah, the sequel trilogy is.
You're still
Pretty
holding on. Let go. I always think of that.
Yeah.
When he says that to Rey or whatever in the in Snoke's lair or whatever, or throne room. Well, excuse me, not Snoke. Discount Palpatine. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Such a
Puppeted
waste.
by Palpatine.
Such a waste, man.
Yo, so I actually do have to get off here because my earpods are literally about to die.
Oh yeah,
So-
dude.
I'm sorry, guys.
No,
We
we-
actually do have to wrap this up.
Bro, we went on such a huge tangent right there. I forgot we were even doing a podcast.
That's okay. We'll definitely get a Star Wars discussion in one of these days. Like it's fucking everywhere. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about it at some point. But yeah, freaking that about does it for this episode of AM Podcast. Next episode is gonna be my recommendations, and I did find the movie that I wanted to recommend, and so yeah, the first movie that is gonna be part of that recommendation for our new movie to discuss is gonna be Alex Garland's new film, famous for Ex Machina Annihilation devs. We're going to be watching Men, or discussing Men. And the second movie, the one that I will be recommending, is I apologize if I butcher the director's name. It's directed by Kim Ji Woon, and it's called I Saw the Devil. And yeah, I just read the premise. It sounds very interesting. I've heard really great reviews about it too, like very high praise too. Like I've always known about this movie. So yeah, I haven't watched it, and I don't think Andrew or Rico have either. So yeah, it'll be a completely new movie that neither of us have watched. So yeah, I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, that's actually going to be really cool. We've never had a recommendation that's going to be fresh for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have like a few on the back burner, like movies that I love that I want to talk about, but I definitely want to like save those for like another time. I definitely want to try and like get some new movies in for everyone. So yeah, I saw this and I'm like, okay, this is actually perfect. It has a lot of action. Apparently has a lot of horror elements too. It's a drama. So yeah, it has a lot of elements that I'm interested to see. I want to see how they juggle and handle them.
Sounds good. Can't wait to see them.
Yeah, dude. Looking forward to it.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, like I said, yeah, that about does it. So yeah, is there anything else you guys want to plug in before we go? Do you want to say anything about Practically Done, Rico?
Yes, sir. So we actually have our very first episode out. It released what was it, like mid last week? It's this one we have both me and Matt going about how to make a belated Mother's Day gift for my mother, and we kind of have a failure, but it's all right. We can redeem ourselves on that. But that's where we're going to be taking it. It's going to go into the next episode, and also I'll throw this over to Andrew to cover the social medias.
The social whaties?
The social medias is.
What are you talking about? I don't do social. What's social media? Is that like a type of cheese or? Okay, I'm kidding. But pretty much, we do have TikTok pages now for both Practically Done and the AM podcast. So feel free to hit us up with a follow. We haven't posted anything on the Practically Done TikTok yet, but we are going to soon. We have about 2 posts up for the AM podcast though, so check those out, and we will keep you updated on all other things soon.
Yeah, and I'll plug in our Facebook and Instagram, which I take care of. Follow our Instagram at AM Podcast 01, and then it's just AM Podcast, all caps, on Facebook. And yeah, starting to post on there more frequently. So yeah, just follow those for more updates. So yeah, freaking, we did it, guys. That concludes episode 8.
Yeah, I believe
8,
this
right?
is episode 8.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still working on 7. It's coming soon, but yeah. So looking forward to episode 9, and then boom, we'll be in double digits territory, boys.
Shit.
We should do something special for that.
Yes,
Mhm.
I did want to talk about that. I was gonna can I talk to you guys really quick after we're done here
Of
about
course.
Yeah.
that? Okay, right on. All right, yeah. This is the third goodbye, but yeah. Later, everybody. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a great night. Thank you for listening.
Good night, guys. We love you as per usual, and give someone a hug today.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I second that. Do that.
Third.
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
Later.